The artist's brain is an independent variable. When brought into the everyday world, their senses find meaning in even the most mundane observations. The reaction must only be told by the artists themselves. I'm Loverboy, and this is an experiment. Today's guest is a producer, songwriter, and instrumentalist. He found himself DJing in Chicago, interning for Flosstradamus, signing to Skrillex's label Ausla, and now producing and writing with some of today's biggest artists, including Diplo, Dylan Francis, Trippie Redd, Juice WRLD, and many, many more. His name is actually a take on his older brother's name, which in Hebrew means lion, and I'd like to welcome today's guest, Aryay. Did I pronounce that right?
You nailed it. I mean, that's the Jew in you. Maybe it's a natural, rolls off the tongue.
So this season on This Is an Experiment, we're talking about what it took to fully bet on yourself. And at what point you knew that you were ready to bet it all on yourself and to bet it all on the art that you've been practicing so hard. You started in Chicago and found yourself working with and for some of the most, incredible and massive DJs in the world. How did that start? How did you find yourself there?
In Chicago, it was like really funny. I'll give a short version, but me and my cousin we used to go to parties, right? Like you didn't go to see a DJ to see a DJ. You went to a DJ to just like, oh, let's go party. You didn't know who the person, you didn't know their name. It wasn't like now. So we went to see Flosstradamus. It was called Floster Promise. They used to throw these prom nights. And my cousin recognized one of the dudes. He's like, I think I served that guy at PetSmart. Like, because my cousin worked at PetSmart. And then we walked up to them after the show. We were like, yo, great set, da-da-da. And they were like, yo, we're looking for interns. And my cousin was like, we don't know what that means, but we wanted to be white Jewish rappers because that's what every little white Jewish boy wants to be at some point. And so we were like, we'll intern for you. What does it mean? And we were just slapping stickers on like Chicago things and like running around Chicago. And like when at their shows, we would like go out into the crowd and bring up a bunch of girls. And we thought we were the shit. We went into green rooms and we were so like enamored by like the backstage life that we saw free alcohol and went crazy. We just like chugged all their booze and they would get so mad at us. They're like, you guys need to chill the fuck out.
And this is during the shows?
Yeah. The first thing we did was after the show, we got Josh's number from Flosstradamus and we left him. We wrote a rap voicemail because we hoped he didn't answer and he didn't answer. And we were like, yo, this is Mickey. This is Shlomo. And we're doing it. And we wrote this whole thing where we're like, we want to be your intern. I don't even remember the rap, but it was...
Well, now you guys know how
cringy.
To intern for Aryay if you want. You got to get on his voicemails and write a real good rap.
Or nowadays it would just be like an Instagram voice message or whatever. But so that's how we started. And then I heard that and I was like, oh, this is what EDM is. Well, I mean, we didn't call it. It was dance music, whatever. Mm-hmm. I heard Daft Punk. I heard like these things that I just wasn't familiar with as an 18-year-old and saw the culture of it and I was blown away. I was like, I want in on this. I want the stardom. I want whatever comes with it. I just saw what came with it. And it was crazy.
And was that what kind of rolled you into becoming an artist at the time?
Yeah, it's like looking back now, it's like I didn't know that I was becoming an artist, so to speak, because I always wanted to be a rapper. Like I was trying to be an artist, I guess. I was trying to be like LMFAO. Like that was like I want to make like goofy rap shit.
We both have the hair.
Yeah, totally. I was like, I want to make goofy rap shit. And I look enough like Weird Al, so I was like, I can make this work. And my cousin wanted to make serious underground hip hop. He was like big, so we were a duo. Mm-hmm. So like looking back, like I didn't realize I was like being an artist, but yeah, it was like I just want to produce. I heard Daft Punk, and I was like, I'm already a producer. I've been producing since I was 14. I was trying to make Soulja Boy beats. And there was no like YouTube tutorial on how to do shit, so you had to find the right snap and the right steel drum or whatever fucking crank that was. I was like, how do I just make this music? So it wasn't so much, I didn't have the foresight to be like, oh, I want to be an artist. It was like, I just want to learn how to make these sounds.
Totally.
You know?
And you went from Chicago, which is, I think, as different as it gets from LA, to somewhere that you're now surrounded by every writer and musician and artist that you could possibly ever imagine. And now you're not an artist anymore. How did that start?
I mean, to like make a long story short, the EDM thing was cool, and I toured and I DJ'd and signed with Skrillex, like you said, and I was a touring artist. And I had a lot of doubts and insecurities, and like there was a lot of kids coming out that were just younger and really fucking talented, and I was like super intimidated, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with this world. I don't know if I can be this guy to like keep. I would like self-sabotage. I would make music and I would send it to Diplo and Skrillex and DJ Snake, and they were like, yo, this is fire. But they would always, not Skrillex so much, he was less responsive, but Diplo and Snake would always be like, yo, like whatever song I send them, put this out, this is fire, just put it out. And I would always be like, no, they're just saying that it's not good enough. So I self-sabotaged and never thought anything was good enough. And that was in the era, I mean, let alone now, people put out like 20 songs a fucking month or whatever. I should have been putting out more music, and I probably would be living a different life if I did. But so that career kind of trickled out, and I had never done a session. At that point, I didn't know what a session was. I didn't know what like working with a songwriter was. I didn't know what like writing a song was. And this girl, Angeli, who lives out here, she's from Canada. She's like a pretty big artist, pretty big songwriter, super successful. I randomly met her, and she was like, let's write some songs. And we wrote songs for Jacob Sartorius. He's like an Instagram boy. He's fire. And I was about to move home to Chicago, and she got me some money. And I was like, running out of money from the DJ shit, and I was like, oh, so you can make money from like producing and writing for other people. I was like, I've heard of ghost production, right? Like making an EDM beat for someone else, but my ego wouldn't let me do that. I was like, no, that's impure.
Totally. Well, in the dance world, if you have a ghost writer or a ghost producer, it's cheating.
Right.
If you have it in the real world, if you will, in the pop world, it's not even just normal, it's necessary. You will find 99% of the songs out there don't only have one or two, they have a list of people.
Look at the credits, right?
Yeah.
Just look at the credits, exactly. So I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that's how things went down. And Angeli gave me a chance, and she helped me make some money, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy, I want to keep doing this. Then a few months later, I was running out of money again, about to move home, quit music, and Diplo's manager, Kevin, and A&R Juba called me, and because I did this remix for them, this Unforgettable, that song. I did a Major Lazer remix, and it did really well. Like, I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, I looked later, it was like 40 million, 50 million plays. I was like, whoa, wow, this did really well. And they hit me up like a year later or 6 months later, were like, yo, do you want to sign to a pub deal with us? And I was like, I don't know what that means. I'm out of money, so let's fucking do it. Like, I'm super down. And I didn't know what I was getting into, and now that 3 years have passed and the pub deal's over, and I learned a fuck ton about sessions, and like now I was thrown into the fire. I'd never done a session, like a real. So Diplo was like, you better learn Fruity Loops. Or sorry, I was on Fruity Loops. He's like, you better learn Ableton because I don't want to just do stems.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I learned Ableton, and then I'm in the room with people. I'm learning how to record on the spot. Like, being an EDM producer, all you know is how to make like wubs and weird fucking dubstep noises.
Well, and the studio aspect isn't really there. You can go sit at a restaurant.
Coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's where I made all my music, was coffee shops.
Totally. And and when you're just on, your DAW and your headphones, there's something romantic about being anywhere you want. Like there's a beauty to it. Yeah. But there's also something about getting to learn about what a studio feels like, and having creative energy that is not yours, just all around you to grab onto and to push and pull from. And it really can be one of the most beautiful things in the world as a musician, to see what a studio session is like, and have that feeling of creating with other people.
I totally agree. At that point, I had never known that. So it was very new to me. And I was like, oh, this is what like making songs is.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So
what was that first session like?
Man, I wish I could remember. It's not coming to my mind, like who the first person was. One of the earlier sessions I remember is this girl out here in LA, Valentina. She's dope. Her voice is crazy. And I knew at the time she was dating Mike Sabbath, who's also like a fire producer. Mm-hmm. So I was like super intimidated. I was like, anything I do with her is going to be trash. Like, he's really fucking talented. Mind you, he's like now working with like Shawn Mendes and like these huge people.
So you're right. He's very talented.
Yeah. Right. And this was before all that, right? So I was nervous to like, I was like, I'm not going to bring anything to the table that she's going to appreciate. But I remember we wrote this song, and it's like so cool. There was no songwriter. It was just me and her. Mm-hmm. And I was super proud of it. And I was like, and to be honest, like there's a lot of music that I make with people that I'm like, I'm just making music here. I don't necessarily like this song. I'm just facilitating,
It's still a career.
It's a career. And that's what I started looking at it more as. I was like, this isn't my vision. This isn't like I'm trying to take this person's idea and bring it to life as best as I can, even if like I think the song is cringy, even if I think the song is this or that. What I'm learning more and more, and like it's kind of shitty to say, but like there's a lot of sales that go on in this business. It's like first you're a therapist. You sit there, you talk to the artists, and you're like, tell me about your life. Okay, your dad was mean to you, and your mom was an alcoholic or whatever. Let's write about that. Maybe let's not. And you do the whole therapy session, and then you're a salesman, because when the song's done, the artist has 100 songs that they made with 100 other producers. Why are they going to put yours out, right? And like you want your song to come out because you need to live and you need to make money. And if you believe in the song, it's not hard to sell a song.
Can you explain that part to people? Because I think that's something that a lot of people, especially who come from the EDM world or who don't know this side of it, why are you not making a shit ton of money when you're producing for a big artist until that song comes out? Why? How does that work?
The most money I ever made, or the most consistent money I ever made, was from touring, right? You play a gig, you get X amount of money. It's, you're playing 3 gigs this weekend. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Put up in the hotels, green rooms, all that good stuff. You don't make money because the expectation, unless you're in a very rare circumstance where someone has a bunch of funding, the expectation is I will reach out to someone whose music I like on Instagram. They will come over. We will make a song together. If they are on a label, when the song comes out, I might get paid.
Yeah.
I'm fighting tooth and nail for every dollar. I'm probably going to be lowballed to fucking hell. It's very rare that you'll get what you think you deserve.
Absolutely.
And if they're not on a label, like good luck getting $1,000 up front.
Absolutely.
And think about when you start to look at the hourly breakdown of like how long you worked on this song and how much you're getting paid, it can be like 40 cents an hour. Like if you know what I mean, let's say you work 40 hours. I'm so bad at math, but 40 hours on a song and you make $1,000. Someone do the math there, but it's not good. It's not good math. It's not good money.
There's definitely, it's not a desk job where, at least if I sit there 8 hours, I'm getting paid for 8 hours.
Sure.
There's
no guarantees.
No guarantees. And like you were saying, sometimes you have to fight tooth and nail just to get.
Not sometimes, every time.
Every time. Just to find, just to get that baseline.
Until you have leverage, right? Until you're like, I produce such and such, and I'm the hot producer in demand right now. And even then, I know a lot of producers who are the hot producer in demand, and I've asked them these questions. And they're still fighting tooth and nail, and they're still getting fucked on getting credited.
It's those things. Dirty business at times. And one of the things that I can recommend to so many people that I didn't do and I didn't take seriously is learn the business side of it. Like it's not a joke. Go know how to not get fucked over. That's
the problem is like, what does that mean to learn it? Like you can't really learn it until you get burned. Or if you have someone who's like a friend who happens to be like my friend out there outside, David, is lucky because he's working with my boy Danny, and Danny's been doing this for like 10 years. So it's like Danny's gonna be like, hey, let's not do that. Let's go. If you have a friend, and also it's cool because there's like Kenny Beats will put out YouTube videos now or streams or whatever. There's a lot of like information out there now that wasn't there before. But even then, you're still gonna get fucked.
I guess it is situational.
It's very situational.
I guess what I mean more is learn at least to understand some basic vocabulary and to understand what you're looking at if you look at a contract.
I would say have a lawyer if you ideally.
That's true. I guess if you're in the position where that much money's on the line, then get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Don't.
Well, what do you consider that much money though? Like for me, if the song's $1,000, I'm probably not gonna have a lawyer look it over. I'm just gonna like let's just fucking
hope for the best.
Yeah, but if the song blows up, then you're going to be kicking yourself because you didn't, so it really depends. It really depends on if you believe in the song. I think I really trust my gut. That's one thing I learned while I was an artist. I learned putting out my own music. I always knew which songs were going to do well, and I was pretty much like 90% ratio. That being said, I put out like 7 songs in the whole career.
Totally.
But I was pretty like aware of what was going to do well. So if I believe in a song and someone's like, hey, you can take 50% of the master and no money, or
you're taking $50,000
$1,000 and no master, it's like, if I believe in the song, I'll take the master.
why do you do this? Why do you still find yourself making music? I mean, this is a tough industry and it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
What gets you up every day?
I mean, me trying to be funny answer was going to be like, cause I'm sick in the head.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Like you have to be fucked to be in this business because of how unstable it is. What gets me up? Why do I do this? I don't know what else to do. Like there's this classic trope of like, I'm an artist, and it's like, I need to create. And if I don't create, I don't feel fulfilled. I don't identify with that. I'm not that dude. And I watch people that are like that, and I know people that are like that, and I envy it. I'm like, man, I wish I was that dude who always has the guitar in his hand, who couldn't live without writing words down every day. Like, I'm not that dude. So that's not why I do it. I do it. One part is, the word is escaping me, but like practical. One part practical. Practicality, practically speaking, I need to make money and I need to live. And I know I'm good enough at this that I can get by. Some months are better, some months are worse, whatever.
Your worth.
Yeah. So that's one aspect of it. And the other aspect of it, and this is me just being dead honest, is like, I don't hate it, right? A lot of people get caught up working a job they fucking hate. There are days that I love this. There's never a day that I hate this. There are days where I'm frustrated because I don't think I'm good enough, or whatever bullshit political stuff comes up, with the red tape with the label or whatever, managers and A&Rs. That's not enough to get me to stop doing this. If I disliked it, if I woke up and I was like working with some artists every day who I was like, why am I doing this? If I felt that way, I might throw in the towel, but thank God I've never felt that way. And I know people that do feel that way, and they hate their life, but they might be very successful. So that's why I still do this.
I'm glad you had that answer, and I'm glad you shared that, because I think there are so many different perspectives when doing any sort of job, which is what this is at the end of the day. It's right. Still a way to pay your bills and to feed the kids and to do whatever it is for the rest of your life. And there are so many different types of people, and people who've listened to the other episodes know that I'm the type of person where I'm annoying. And if I'm in a studio, I'm holding a guitar. There's no,
again, we should preface this with like the fact that we hardly know each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that I bought your cousin's fucking carpet on OfferUp, and then he told me about your music, and I watched one of your vlogs, and then I was working with Ahmad Royale, and you were like, yo, I know him. And I was like, I actually know you because I watched your vlog, and
Small
now you're
world.
Here. All that to say, like, when I saw your vlog and I look at you and like the way you're dressed, and you're dressed super cool and like whatever, you come off to me as one of those people who, like, I said it like half jokingly, but like I envy people who feel this shit in their bones, because I don't. I like it, and some days I love it, but I never hate it.
Totally.
And if you hate it, that's when it's like, you got to get out of there.
Part of this whole thing, this journey, this fucking weird ass roller coaster we're on, isn't always about finding something you love. You don't always need to have something that you love all the time. You just need to find a way to fucking wake up and smile and dig your life, and don't pass on generations of bullshit, because this is a choice. We are lucky that where we were born and all these situations happen to come together, and we have a choice to be happy. And whether you fucking need music or not doesn't matter. You love what you do because you love being a happy person, and you like enjoying your job. And that's a choice. And that's a great choice.
It is. I mean, we don't need to get too deep with that idea, because like I think of certain people in my life who would be like, it's not a choice, it's a privilege, and that whole side of things. But like, I hear you. You get to decide what you do every day in an ideal world, and I'm a fan of the way I live. I'm very routine oriented. I wake up at 6:30 every day. I work on this one thing I'm doing where I make stems for money, and then it's like, cool, that's an hour of work, and then I work out, then I fucking do this, and then and then I work from like 10 a.m. till like 9 p.m. is the goal, to work on music, sitting in front of a screen. Some people think that's disgusting. It's like, you're not outside. Some people are like jealous of it. They're like, wow, you get to make your own schedule. So that's the privilege of it that I'm like, I'm not giving that up. Like, I don't want a boss. Our bosses are the labels, the managers, the A&Rs, right? The people that have to approve of the
extra
song
people.
and it coming out. Those are our quote unquote boss. I'm assuming you do production as well. Like,
Absolutely.
Again, we hardly know each other, so I know that you make your own music and it's fucking dope, but I don't know your other side of things. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad we got to meet on this note and that people got to hear pretty much our first conversations.
Yeah.
You know, got to meet you and a couple of your friends to start, but man, I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you jumping on this with me. And yeah, thank you so much. And to everybody listening,
I'm Aryay, and this is an experiment.
bye everybody. Thank you.
Goodbye.
The experience is the experiment.